going to perish. So you keep on keeping on, man. But one way or another, then go to the government, man. Go beg for Section 8. You got to go get it, man. Do what you can. It's about survival, right? One way or another, that the establishment wants, the establishmentarians want to get their pay. Okay, they're going to get what's coming. It's due. It's capitalism, right? It's all right and good if you're on that side of it, the side of inhumanity. Say, money, yes, definitely is more important than human beings. And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of them unwittingly, subconsciously, they don't think about it. They don't actualize it. They don't ever put themselves in another person's shoes. They're not living by the golden rule. They don't care. They don't care. They'll transgress that border and say, I know what's important for me and my kids. My way out of fear is money, and you go out and get it. It's your problem, and you give it to me. Okay, so you're working for the money masters. That you take a chunk of change, your property managers, your landlords, and you send it back to the mortgage holder, right? And they give it back to the Federal Reserve where it all originates. This mark of the beast, man. Who are these people to have this privilege, this exclusive privilege of printing the currency? How come you don't have it? How come I don't have it? Who are we? Who really owns this world? These people. If they can buy up everything, all the services, all the commodities, in perpetuity with pretty pieces of printed paper. Okay, that's it. That's how cheap it is for them. They've got that power. They've got the copyright to this. And this is the power they have. So if we were going to learn how to deal with this thing, we sure as hell would have done it by now. We're not. We've got to wean ourselves off it. The only way we're going to do it is by demanding sound currency. It's either that or just wait for the wrath of God, because it's coming, the return of Jesus. Okay, but you know what? You better be on the right side. You better not be ashamed of him and his words in this adulterous generation, like he said, or he'll be ashamed of you when he returns in the glory of God with the holy angels, is how it's written. Because the day is coming when it's going to turn around, and all you evildoers can kick and fight and bite and scream and rant and rave all you want, but you're going down, because not all the combined forces by and for darkness are going to stop the advent of Christ coming. It's going to happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, no two ways about it. Good will prevail in this new age, and you're going down. You're the ones that are going to lose your power. You're going to lose your critical mass. That's what's going to sweep the nation. Just like a fire is starting in California, but it's going to sweep the nation, right? I mean, I know there's other expensive states. I know that Manhattan, New York is very expensive. I mean, it competes right. It's right up there with San Francisco, certainly. Extracting $2,000 for a single bedroom apartment, $3,000, whatever they can get, and they don't care. A lot of these landlords aren't even taking Section 8, but do they ever think about the fact that the industry is subsidizing it, and so they're part of the industry, and that's what allows them to, this is the going market rate. Well, who the hell set the going market rate? Market manipulators, liars, and cheaters. Okay, just like your car, they got a blue book on a car, right? But you depend on an appraiser for honesty. The appraiser's working for the bankers. What do the bankers want to do? Well, it used to be they had a little sense and they were approved. They said, well, look, this is capitalism, and if we overextend ourselves and do something foolish by lending out too much money for this property, then we're going to lose our butts. Our financiers are going to lose their butts. They're going to lose their money, because then you're going to have to go squeeze blood out of a turnip. Some poor bastard that's flat-ass broke, you're going to tell him he's going to pay? No, but now they got the government bailing them out. I'm citing 2008. When I was I was looking forward to that day. But I knew that something might come up, that there might be thrown a wrench in the works, and there was. With Harry Paulson, he was threatening martial law, or, if we don't have this bailout, it'd say, hey, well, you know what, all these people, they landed kind of recklessly. I mean, we all have to admit that. I mean, but we couldn't foresee this. Bull. These people have Harvard degrees, PhDs. Are you kidding me? Well, you think I'm smarter than these people? No, but they're evil. They're shrewd. So, the Congress and Senate, they all go along, and everybody's rubber stamping this thing under the threat. Well, this is what's best. Federal Reserve said this is what's necessary, so we got to do this thing. So we bail them out. And this is what we've got. We've got crony capitalism, which equates to fascism, ever-growing wealth disparity, ever-growing poverty, ever more loss of the middle class, and all the problems just go along with it. The debt just keeps on mounting. The dubious war is always ever present. We got the crime is nice, healthy levels of crime and drug use and prostitution and all the problems out there, folks. All of it. Plenty of abortions to go around. We can get away with GMOs, and it's about money, man. We save money. You farmers will make more money with these GMO crops. All this nonsense out there that we're all acquiescing to. We're all conforming to some degree because we're stuck in this. So even those like myself that are kicking and screaming and saying, no, I don't want to acquiesce. I don't want to go along with this. We're all doing it kind of haplessly anyhow. I mean, how am I going to live without money? I get it, folks. I'm stuck in this mess too. I'm very grateful when I've got the money. I say, thank you, God, for this check, for this work I did so that I can pay this bill and that bill. I appreciate it. I get it, but it's temporary. We've got to see that what we need is money only as a means to an end. That's why I'm such a proponent of sound currency, because I see it as nothing more than a means to an end. What is the end? The end is what I described before. It is a world where we're free. Not some of us. It can't be that way. It cannot be that way, where we're all safe and secure. Because you can't have freedom unless you have security. If you're living in fear, that's insecurity. You're not feeling particularly free. Your freedom isn't worth nothing. It's like being in jail. Oh, well, I'm out of jail, so, I guess I'm free, right? So it's a very subjective term. What is freedom to one man may not be to another. I mean, it's like, what is your idea of a perfect government? Okay? And what is mine? What's his idea? So who's going to get their way? We're all in this together. That's why a republic is good, because everybody is supposed to get their way. What do you think, that dirt poor people aren't Republicans sometimes? I mean, they believe in a republic. And they're egalitarians. Why can't a Republican be an egalitarian? Why can't a Democrat be an egalitarian? That they believe in equality. They believe in the Constitution. They get it. Above all, they believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ and the minor and major prophets in the Bible. All the great wisdom that was handed down to us. That's sacrosanct. This is reality. You want to know reality versus unreality, then learn what's written in your Bible. The teachings of Paul, all the controversy through the ages that's been going on about this, and all the hate out there that's been pointed in the direction of those that would extricate humanity from the bowels of hell and the grasp that these evil people have on us, and exposing how they're doing it through the money, the monetary system. They want means to an end. These are insane people. They don't even have an idea of what they want. They're out of their minds. They're possessed by evil. So if they get their way, what we're going to see is a country just, going down the tubes. The planet keeps going down the tubes, and these people running and scared, and I don't know, but we have to put our foot down, like Thomas Jefferson said, and said, look, the amount of tyranny you live under is the amount that you accept, proportional. So you've got to say, no, enough's enough. And how are we being tyrannized? Through the debasement of our currency, which turns up your fear, your insecurity, and takes your freedom. Do you see how this works? It's all very simple, and I'm sorry if I come off arrogant, but when you're so certain about something, you could scream, and you don't hear anybody else talking about it. You're compelled. You feel like you've got to do it just to live with yourself. I can't live with myself unless I donate, unless I give of myself. Like I said before, like a living sacrifice. That's what I want to do. I want to do it for humanity. I want to do it for what's right and good and proper. And this is all I have. It doesn't matter if I humiliate myself, if I sound stupid, whatever. It doesn't matter. If one person out there can pick up on the stuff I'm talking about and convey it to somebody else in a way that they can hear it, and we can all be empowered and come out of confusion. Remember, all the knowledge and learning in the world is not going to do you any good if you're deceived. And if you're confused about issues, you are effectively deceived. And so they can keep us divided. They can keep us at each other's throats. Even though our disagreements are very little, they're very slight. If we sat down, had a cup of coffee together and said, well, what do we want? Now, how does this work? You say, well, we want to let all the immigrants in, and you're just a bunch of big meanies. Say, I understand. You're very compassionate. You're very caring about the immigrants. But then ask a question and say, What good does it do if we're letting our own native sons and daughters, among those a lot of veterans, die out in the cold and not care about them and let other people leapfrog who we have no allegiance to? We didn't wreck their country. It's not our fault. We can say, well, it's our military. Yes, but we've got black hats in there. And now the white hats are standing up. Even in the Pentagon, they're saying no. The Air Force is saying no. The Navy is saying no. We're not going to be ISIS and Al-Qaeda's Air Force. No, no, no. It goes against our conscience, and we're not going to follow illegal orders, unconstitutional, and orders that go that are smite my conscience. I can't do it. So I'm not going to do it. So this is what's happening. We're hitting that point. This is where civilization is at. So there is a turnaround happening. And hopefully in your town, in your state, wherever you are, things aren't going to get as bad as they did in California. But I'll tell you how bad it is. We have over 50% of Californians are renters, tenants, okay, with no permanent home here at all. They're at the mercy of the landlord. The landlord prices them out of the market, and they can't afford to pay. They've got to find another state to live in, so they're fleeing. So you're getting a lot of good people that are just fleeing the oppression here, the tyranny here in California. But know what to expect. They're just going to chip away at the worth of your currency through cost of living increases and tell you it's your fault. You need to buck up, work harder, learn another trade, and this is the answer to all your problems. Instead of asking, well, how come it's gone this far? What was it like 50 years ago? Why do we keep accepting this diminishment of our standard of living through the debasement of our currency? And no proportional adjustment in the minimum wage. Why has minimum wage declined so much in worth relative to minimum wage back 50 years ago? How do you justify that? What's your rationale? How can you say you're not an elitist? How in any way? You can't. You're illogical. You're wrong. You're immoral. You're unethical to say that's okay. It is not okay. It's it's wrong, okay? That's what unethical means. That's what immoral means. It's wrong. You've got to care about social economic issues. You've got to care about these things, or who are you? You've got no standing. You're a piece of crap. You don't have to explain yourself to me or anybody else, any other human being, but you will one day stand before your Creator. You will justify. You will give an excuse and defense for your beliefs. And if your beliefs, if your strongly held convictions turn up to be false and phony and unfounded, you've built your house on sand. Okay, that's your beliefs. That's your character, your personality. That's your integrity and your honor, your conscience. So those should be your truly deeply held values that we should all have. Okay, not the things of this world, the temporal, fleeting things of this world that could be over for any one of us at any time. We're going to stand before our Creator and we're going to answer for our beliefs. Okay, and it's not going to be, well, because it's bad for employers and we need employers. And, so somebody has to bite the bullet here and somebody has to take a dive. So let it be the minimum wage worker. Why is that? How are you going to justify that when their job is every bit as important as yours? And if you don't believe me, then try it. Start quitting your job and seeing if the world goes down the tubes. The world's not going to fall apart. The world's not going to fall apart. The guy wants to spend his life flipping burgers in the art of flipping burgers. I've been a cook before. You think it's all easy? You think it's a joke? You think it's easy to make a Western omelet? Let's see you make a Western omelet, Spanish omelet, okay? These are things I learned how to do, and I had to fight to do. I had to actually fib to get in. It was sort of a fib. I mean, this was when I was about 21, I guess, and I really needed a job. I wanted to be a cook, and step up from being dishwasher, which I did, as a teenager. I've been washing dishes in various places. Hell, I worked on a farm when I was 15. But I was being a cook. I have cooked, but I never cooked professionally. So this gal that I was, she taught me the ropes. But, it's not funny. I mean, it's, being a cook is hard. There's a lot of pressure. I mean, when a restaurant gets busy, I mean, it gets hot in the kitchen. That's where that term came from. If it's too hot in the kitchen, get out. So I wouldn't be down talking people working in the kitchen. I mean, and also they had an incident here locally in Butte County in Oroville, which is actually the capital of Butte County, where I forget, Wendy's or Jack, and one of these fast food places. Well, the cook didn't like something that some customer said, and ended up they caught her. She actually caught the cook spitting in her hamburger. So I'm not, I'm certainly not saying a cook should do that, but if they know where you stand on these issues and you go into these fast food restaurants, I mean, you never know what they're putting. So if you get sick, next day after you eat at some fast food restaurant, well, it might be because the cook doesn't like you and said, what, share the fun with you, whatever. I'm not going to condone that kind of behavior. That's disgusting, of course. You go to jail for that kind of thing. I don't know. The press the media never followed up on what happened with that case. There might have been a quiet out of court settlement on it, but whatever it was, I mean, I'd sue for a lot if somebody did that to my burger, but it's unlikely they would if they knew my